Gentlemen, a word. That was relatively a slow news day, but then all of a sudden, a huge bomb drops in my lap with Marvel releasing a whole bunch of news about a bunch of their upcoming projects. I say at this time, you've probably already seen the video that I dropped about the game they announced, the Marvel Cosmic Invasion, but that was just the tip of the iceberg. So, of course, there was the whole debacle with the Marvel musical chairs. I don't know who in their marketing department dreamed that dog shit up, but there's at least one other nugget in here that was worth having its own video and exploring. So, again, buckle up, true believers. Let's see what we have. All right. What we have here is the title announcement for Spider-Man Brand New Day. Already, it's just the title, and they've screwed it up. For those of you who don't get the joke, this is a same title to the follow-up for what is arguably the worst comic book ever made under the Spider-Man brand. That, of course, being One More Day. The One More Day, again, for those who aren't in the know, is the comic where they deleted Peter Parker and Mary Jane's marriage just to save a absolutely ancient Aunt May. There are so many aspects of that story that made no sense, never mind the absolute character assassination that they did for Peter Parker. And they even went so far as to have Aunt May herself in ghost form tell Peter, "Let me die." Still, the guy who is the beacon of responsibility makes a literal deal with the devil to save a woman on death's door anyway, and that's when she's healthy. That's One More Day. Brand New Day was the follow-up to that. That was when Marvel really started getting their backlash because they tried to explain all the retcon that they just created. It's like, no, no, no. Peter and Mary Jane, yeah, they were still living together all this time, but they just weren't married. So then what was the point? Anyway, side tangent. Moving on. Back to the article here. Spider-Man Brand New Day and Spider-Man Beyond the Spiderverse unveiled at CinemaCon 2025. Now, the Beyond the Spiderverse, I'm actually interested in seeing, because so far the Spider-Verse films, they're doing a pretty decent job. I'll give them that much. Fingers crossed they don't screw it up right before the finish line. Marvel fans assemble. This week at CinemaCon 2025, fans can expect to get a sneak peek into some upcoming theatrical movie projects. Coming to you live from Las Vegas, Nevada, here are all the Marvel announcements spinning out of CinemaCon. Okay, Spider-Man Brand New Day. Now, see if this thing covers it. Peter Parker launches into his next cinematic adventure in Spider-Man Brand New Day. As I said, it's just the title and already you're screwing up. The title of the highly anticipated Spider-Man No Way Home. The title of the highly anticipated Spider-Man No Way Home sequel was revealed Monday night at CinemaCon to much fan fervor. Director Destin Daniel Cretton, I know that's probably not how it's meant to pronounce, but it's Marvel. You've earned it at this point. Who previously worked on Marvel Studios' Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Yeah, as I said, Cretton appeared on stage to provide fans with their first insight into Spider-Man Brand New Day. I'm spending my time exploring the next stage of this amazing character with a team of the most incredible artists in the world. We're all just daily nerding out over the suit, how to swing, how to create an event, an emotional story, and a ride that we haven't really seen before. Press X'd it out, people. However, I will say the Spider-Man films haven't been the absolute Taco Bell diarrhea that we've seen out of the rest of the MCU franchise post Endgame. So there's a chance at the very least it'll be a decent popcorn muncher film. So I'll give them that much benefit of the doubt. Again, it's Marvel, it's Disney. Spider-Man himself made a little appearance at the presentation too, with leading man Tom Holland addressing the audience via video to share his excitement about the upcoming project. So this will be starring Tom Holland. Spider-Man Brand New Day will be directed by Destin Daniel Cretton. I don't care if that's not how you pronounce his name, that's what I'm calling him from now on, and will release in theaters on July 31st, 2026. And supposedly, according to the rumor mill, both the Incredible Hulk and Punisher will be appearing in this film. It is also fan theorized it is the reason why you didn't see their names on the musical chairs when they gave the cast announcement for Avengers Doomsday. Next up, we got Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse. This one, I'm actually kind of interested in seeing. So it all ends here. Well, shit. Miles Morales returns to the big screen in the highly anticipated conclusion to the Oscar-winning Spider-Verse trilogy, Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse. Filmmakers film lord Bob Perschetti and Justin K. Thompson took to the stage to give audiences an exclusive glimpse into the upcoming film. Fans can catch a first look at the multiverse spanning adventure featuring Miles, Gwen, and the Prowler in the gallery below. The filmmaking trio also announced the movie's new theatrical release date. Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse swings into theaters on June 4th, 2027. Definitely giving themselves some wiggle room to play with here. This is directed by, produced by executive producers. Yeah, I'm sorry, producers and executive producers. These are pretty much just people who sign the checks. Occasionally, they try to flex influence on the creative. Here's hoping that's not the case this time. They're just like, it ain't broke, don't fix it. Screenplay, Phil Lord, Christopher Miller, and David Callahan. This one I'm actually hoping I'm pronouncing right, because so far, as I said, they've been doing pretty well with these movies. I don't want to see him screw it up now. So let's have a look at this gallery, shall we? So, first one. You could have literally pulled this out of any of the previous two movies, and nobody could have called you a liar. Pretty much the same thing for this one. There's nothing really extraordinary about it. So I don't even think they changed up the suit at all. So Spider and Gwen on what looks like almost modern art background here. And that was it. Okay. Well, there's like a small nugget of information here. As I said, with Beyond the Spider-Verse, that's the one bit of good news out of this whole mess. Spider-Man Brand New Day. The absolute best I can hope for is that they'll have something that won't piss me off to where I storm out of the theater, which Spider-Man No Way Home, I'll admit, the first time I saw it, I got infected with the rose-colored glasses seeing Garfield and Toby. So I greatly overlooked a lot of the flaws that film had on the first go-round. It wasn't until I got my copy on Blu-ray and watched it at home that I started going, hey, wait a minute. With no word as to whether or not they're going to try to bring Toby and Garfield back for this, which I suspect they're probably not. I don't know if they're going to be able to have the same rose color effect. I am curious to see where the story's going after the conclusion of the last film, since they deleted everyone's memories of Peter Parker. That's a pretty blank slate for you to play with. They can literally go in any direction. Now, there's also word of a redheaded actress that's been cast to play in this. However, for some reason, the internet's, at least a corner of it, seems to think this is Jean Grey. Okay, look, there's tons of redheads in the Marvel universe, but of all of them, why Jean? And it's like, I find it very difficult to believe Marvel would choose a Spider-Man film to straight up introduce a member of the X-Men cast. Now, is it possible this is the actual Mary Jane Watson? More than likely. Will they have her be Peter's new love interest? I highly doubt it, especially given the title they ran with for this. This is not going to be just a coincidence. Plus, also, given the fact that Tom Brevoort, the current editor-in-chief of Marvel Comics, has made it sound like it is the higher-ups that are making the decision for Peter and MJ to not get back together in the comics. I suspect there's a reason for that. This is probably it. One bit of good news, one bit of meh news. I'll take it as a bullet over the head warning shot. Fingers crossed we actually get two good projects out of this. But right now, at best, I'm only expecting one real good project. How about you guys? You looking forward to these films? Anything else in Marvel's lineup? You got any hopes for James Gunn's Superman coming up? Let me know in the comments. Until then, this is Grovex reminding all of you to be good, or at least good at what you do.